Hey guys, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you my top tips and tricks and things that I've learned along the way navigating this special needs journey. I have a son who has special needs and we are actually getting ready to go to Disney World and we're going to be flying. So I just wanted to share with you some of the most important things that have helped me and him to have the best possible experience when we fly. Get into the video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anna. I absolutely love to travel and we love Disney, and I do have a son who has special needs. So on this channel I kind of share a little bit of everything in hopes that it will help you and your family navigate traveling and special needs. The first thing we're going to cover is flights. Definitely take this with a grain of salt because what works for me might not work for your family or for your friend's family. Special needs is a humongous spectrum and you just have to really navigate and figure out what works for you and your family. I am just sharing my tips and tricks and what has worked for us in traveling. I live in New York City and we typically fly from Newark Airport, sometimes from JFK and LaGuardia. I do prefer to fly out of Newark because it's a much smaller airport. There's also Westchester County Airport, which is amazing, but it's just a little bit far away from us. So I tend to stick to smaller airports, and of course it has its ups and downs, and we'll get into that in just a second. My next big tip is booking the earliest flight out. It might not work for you or your child. I totally understand that. It works for us. My son would wake up at any time of day or night and he's ready to go. So for me and my sanity and for him, I try to book the first flights out because I feel like there's less stress. I feel like there's less people in the airports. I feel like the domino effect hasn't hit yet where if one flight gets canceled and then the other one is delayed. So that gives us a good window of opportunity to get to the airport, to get to our gate, to get on our flight and leave. So I always look for the first flights, which could be sometimes at like 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. So it works very well for us. We also mainly fly with JetBlue, and I can't say that it's my favorite airline, but it's not bad, and so far, knock on wood, I haven't had any major issues with them. I try to book my flights with, I guess, airlines that have a better reputation. I feel like Spirit Airlines, it's just always a disaster, and especially if you have a kid with special needs, I just feel like it's a recipe for a major disaster, a major meltdown, and I'm just trying to avoid that as much as possible. So I book with JetBlue, and I also, when it's available in my budget, I try to get the seats that have extra leg room. So usually on JetBlue flights, it's like the first 6-7 rows. So I try to purchase those for my kids. Having that extra space for your child who has special needs to move around, to maybe stand up, to kind of, you know, maneuver, fold their legs, I don't know, like whatever things that they like to do, just having that extra space, it really helps so much. So another thing that I've used in the past is a service that's called TSA Cares. So TSA Cares is a service for passengers that have special accommodations, that have special needs, that have disabilities or medical conditions. TSA will help you get through security as quick as possible with as less stress as possible. And I have to say, when that service works, it's really wonderful, but it doesn't always work. We have traveled so many times to Disney World and back, I can't even count, and we went from different airports and are traveling from a smaller airport. The issue that I've ran into over and over again is that one TSA officer to the next one won't know what is a TSA Cares program service. They have no idea. Incredibly frustrating because you go through the process, you register, you put all of your information, you get a confirmation email, you list everything, you get to the airport and you come up to a TSA agent and you say, hey, we have TSA Cares service scheduled for this flight at this time, here's my confirmation, and they're looking at you like you just grew a third eye in the middle of your head. You know, so it could definitely be frustrating. But the thing that I've learned with using TSA Cares, go ahead and register. You have to register at least 72 hours before your flight. You're including all of your flight information, everyone who's in the same party, and you're including the issues or the accommodations that you're looking for. Make sure you get that confirmation email, and when you get to the airport, the first thing you have to do, don't even stress yourself out anymore. You just ask a TSA agent that you need a TSA manager or supervisor. Only people that actually know what TSA Cares is. And so don't waste your time. Don't try to argue with them, because you don't want to get into any misunderstanding and end up missing your flights or anything like that. Always ask for a TSA Cares supervisor, a manager, wait for them to come, and then just show your confirmation email or letter if you have it printed out. Explain what this is. They will already know, and they will escort you through security. So that's what you have to do. In normal circumstances, what needs to happen is once you register, this information gets passed down to the airport. And so the airport staff and the TSA agents are expecting you to come through security during that time. But in smaller airports or staff maybe that's not trained properly, they don't know about this. So that's why I say just get yourself the TSA supervisor. Sorry, that was a very long explanation, but I hope it helps. I hope it makes sense. Another great option you have available to you is TSA PreCheck. Now, when I ran into a couple of issues with TSA Cares, I kind of got frustrated at some point. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a TSA PreCheck just to have it in my back pocket, just in case if one didn't work, I always had the other option. So TSA PreCheck is a great option. I believe you go online, you register, you fill out some information. If you have kids, I think you put your kids' information there as well. It's been like, I want to say 2.5 years, so I don't remember for sure. And you know, you bring your passport and you go, I want to say you get fingerprinted, and soon after you get a letter. I believe it was in the mail or maybe it was in an email. I don't remember the registration process. I just know you go, you register, you get an appointment, you go to the office, you bring your IDs. I think they ask you like a few questions. They do your fingerprints and they send you on your merry way. And I think you pay like $85. At least that's what it was about 2.5 years ago. It's good for 5 years. 5 years. So you don't have to get TSA PreCheck for each individual kid. As long as they're 13 and under, they go under you and they're there for 5 years. And then of course, if during this 5 years they are, you know, 13, 14, 15, then you get it for them. But I still think that paying $85 for 5 years for sanity, I think it's a very good option. So again, having used TSA Cares and seeing the good and the bad with it, and then having used a TSA PreCheck, I think just knowing that I have those two options when I travel within United States, I think it's amazing. I think it's very, very helpful. I don't know what the rules and regulations are for traveling outside of United States, but once we do, we did have plans this summer, but they kind of fell through. So once we do travel outside the United States, I will definitely come back and make an updated video and let you guys know how that went and what you're able to use. So if there's some other service like a TSA PreCheck, but like international one, we'll have to figure that out when we get there. Now I'm going to show you the in-flight entertainment that I get for my son to help him have the best possible time. So before I show you, let me just tell you that my son is 8 years old. He does have special needs. He's not afraid to fly, and he actually kind of enjoys it, and he's always asking, you know, to go in the airplane and to go to Disney. He likes that whole process. The only thing that can happen sometimes is my son gets a little bit loud. He likes to speak loudly, he laughs a lot, and then I've had instances where someone told me that, you know, they're trying to sleep and my son is giggling and it was distracting for them. So you meet all sorts of people on flight, and you just have to, you know, pack your patience pants and just bless their hearts. So I try to get as many things as possible for my son, just to keep him entertained, keep him busy with snacks, with activities, with his iPad, and all sorts of things, just so he could be, I guess, as calm and as relaxed as possible during the flight. So let me show you some of the things that I get for him. Get him new headphones. Also, if you're a parent of a child who has special needs, you know that they break things left and right. This is like our 4th pair of headphones in like the last 4 months. These are a little bit different, but they're usually Bluetooth. They have some lights. You can adjust the volume. Most of them have a cord, so you could also plug them straight into the iPad. The battery usually lasts about 3 to 4 hours to use it without the wire. So this is a must along with his tablet. This is my son's tablet. It has a really sturdy case, and you know, his iPad could stand like this. And I'll be honest, we have 2 iPads, and the reason we have 2 iPads is if one is going to break, or something's gonna happen, or we're gonna lose it, or the battery's gonna die, we have the second one for backup. And I know every child is very different, but my son depends tremendously on his iPad. Tremendously. So we just have 2 of them. You got him some sensory toys. So this was a thing that I found. It's like a fidget, stretchy, fun, squishy, sensory toy that I found in the dollar section in Target. I think this was actually $1, so I guess it's like a caterpillar, and it's like stretchy and it has funny, fun texture. So I have 2. My son does like them, but of course the issue becomes when they're all over the place, or they fall on the floor and then it ends up in their mouth. So that's why, you know, sometimes I'm just like, okay, this fell on the floor 3 times, we're done, let's put it away, let's get you something else. So I have 2 of them for backup, and you know, if all goes well, we use one going there and then we use the second one coming back. And the next few items I'm going to show you, my son typically doesn't use them or play with things like this on daily basis, but when we're flying, it's something new, it's something that he can open and look, and it has a couple activities for him, so it works when we travel on the airplane. The items is this little coloring book. It has that magic ink marker that's completely mess free. I know this probably is advertised probably for children a little bit younger than he is, but you know, my son does have special needs. We are going to Disney. We got, you know, Woody over here. So he finds it to be, you know, interesting, and he will color a few pages on the flight there, and then he'll color a few pages on the flight back. He likes to do puzzles, so this is kind of interesting for him, and that's all that I'm really looking for. I'm just looking for to, you know, present him with some kind of item or sensory toy or a book or an activity book, and just to keep him busy and entertained, you know, for say 15, 20, 25 minutes before we have to switch to something else. Like, that is all I'm asking for. And it works, you know, and it helps. The item is very similar. I also found this in Target. This was $3 in that not so dollar section. So this is Mickey again. I got it because we are going to Disney World. So in the back you could see that they have some blank sheets, they have stickers, and then they have, you know, that scratching pad with that little wooden stick where he will scratch and reveal a colorful picture. So he likes that. He gets very into it, and he's like, shh, you know. So again, this will probably keep him entertained for 15, maybe 20 minutes, and that's all I can ask for before we switch to something else. Okay, another thing is this play pack. So for years when he was smaller, we were getting something similar, but they were just like a fraction of the size. Found this one, and it's pretty big. So inside it says that it includes a surprise foam character, 2 sticker sheets, velvet poster, stencil, crayons, and 32-page full-size coloring book. So I think it's really great, and again, it's Disney characters, will be in Disney, so I thought it was great. And he enjoys to open things, so for him this is just exactly what he needs. I found in Target in the dollar section, and this was $3. Again, this is the scratch art, so you just, you know, it's black sheets and you just use that little wooden stick, pencil, whatever you like to call it, and you scratch it off and it reveals a colorful picture. Again, this is something that he likes. Again, this is something that will keep him entertained for good probably 15 to 20 minutes, and there is 10 of them, so it's definitely going to be good for flying there and coming back home. So yeah, normally don't like to get a lot of toys because again, when they fall on the floor, I start panicking, especially, you know, during the pandemic. I'm like, oh my god, everything is so dirty, like I need to clean it, wipe it, sanitize it. So I try to limit the toys because somehow toys and things like that always end up in the mouth, and I just cannot. So I got him this squishy ball. I guess it's kind of like those what would they call, like the pop-it things. So it's squishy and it has great texture, and I think he's going to like it a lot. And especially like if he feels like he needs, you know, some sensory input, he'll definitely, you know, squeeze this a lot and probably put it close to his face because that brings him a lot of comfort. So aside from the entertainment, I also make sure that I have lots of snacks for him that are his favorite snacks, so there's never a hangry moment because my son definitely loves to eat a lot. What I usually pack this is he has his own backpack, and I will always have a change of clothes and a Ziploc bag for him there. I do go over this in my packing videos. If I already have a packing video ready before this video goes up, I will link it somewhere here or down below, but if not, definitely look at some of my Disney packing videos. I definitely show you how I pack each kid up and what I put into their backpacks. But just to give you a quick rundown, everyone has a backpack, focusing on my little guy. So he has his backpack. He will always have a change of clothes full: pants, underwear, shirt, socks, always. And it's also in a Ziploc bag, so if we do have an accident or we get wet, it's not so much about bathroom accidents, it's more about sensory meltdown when he gets wet or anything like that. So we want to prevent that as much as possible. So I have a dry, clean, fresh outfit for him. I have a Ziploc bag to put the dirty stuff in there, and then we'll have another gallon Ziploc bag full of snacks. So I usually put his favorite cookies. He likes raisins. Maybe sometimes I'll put a little bit, like a small treat of some kind of chocolate, but I try to limit that because we do not need to have like a full sugar attack in flight. You know, we're trying to get to Disney in one piece. So it's mainly just his cookies, his pretzels, his raisins, and his water. He really just drinks water. So that's what I have in there, and then everything else I fill up with his entertainment, because he usually will always carry his iPad and his headphones already on him, so his other entertainment stuff will be in his backpack. But if there's a lot of stuff, like right now, I pack half of it in my suitcase, so then that way he has something for the flight back home. That's pretty much it. I hope it was helpful for you guys. You know, I know it's easier said than done. Don't stress, everything's gonna be okay, but honestly, you know, it will be okay if you get your child ready, you get yourself ready, you just pack your own patience pants and just tune out everyone and just do what you need to do. You will be okay, your child will be okay. Child needs to have conversations with you, or they need to hear you talk to them about what we're gonna do first, second, and last. Then definitely do that. You know, my son, I'm very grateful that he's very easygoing. He likes to know when we're gonna do certain things, like once we are in the parks. But when it comes to flying, he's okay. I'm very lucky in that sense. It's just, you know, when he is having fun and giggling, like I've mentioned earlier, I did have this one lady, you know, turn around and tell me that I need to keep my kid quiet because she's trying to sleep on her pillow. I mean, I simply told her to have a wonderful nap, and you know, she could finish her nap when she gets back home. I mean, what are you gonna do? I hope this video was helpful for you and your family. I hope things made sense. If you have any further questions, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them. You can also find me on Instagram at Happy Travel Vlogs and send me a private message if you would like. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And also you can share it with somebody who might be traveling with a child who has special needs and, you know, needs a little bit help along the way and some reassurance and some, you know, helpful tips and tricks. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.